Alright, today we're going to talk about odds, and we're kind of in the mode of talking about probability, and I'm hoping that after this video lesson you will see the difference between odds and probability, because they are pretty different. So when you think about odds, you've probably heard people say something like, what are the odds of that happening? So for example, if all 4 of your friends come to school one day with the same shirt on and someone says, what are the odds of that happening? So it's different than saying, what are the chances of that happening? Odds is kind of a different process. So if we remember back to what probability is the number of ways something can happen. So the number of possible, oops, I can't spell today. Outcomes on top over the total. Okay, so total is what the key is, the key difference between probability and odds. For probability we have the total on the bottom. For odds we're not going to see that. So for odds, for example, if we're finding the odds that something can happen, we're going to write the number of times it can occur over the number of times it won't occur. So kind of the opposite. So instead of doing the total on the bottom, you're going to write the number of times it will happen over the number of times it won't happen. Okay? So that will make more sense once we do some of these examples. So let's look at example 1. Example 1 says you have a bag and it has 12 total marbles. So there's our total. We have 7 green, 2 yellow, and 3 blue. So we're not finding probability anymore, we're finding odds. So on the top we're going to figure out what the odds of picking a green marble. So we have 7 green marbles, so that's going to go on top. And if we were doing probability, we'd do the total on the bottom, but we're not doing probability, we're doing odds. So you're going to have the number of times that you wouldn't pick a green marble. So we have 7 green, and what's left over? We have 2 and 3, so we have 5 left over. Okay, so another big difference between odds and probability is that you're not going to change it into a percent. You're going to keep it as a ratio. Okay, make sure it's simplified, but you do not have to turn it into a percent. This would be your final answer. Alright, so the next example says, find the odds of picking a green or a yellow. So we've got a key word here. Remember, whenever you see or, you're going to add those together. So how many green or yellows do we have? We have 7 green plus 2 yellows. So we have 9 total where it can occur. And then whatever is left over is going to be on the bottom. So that would be 3. So remember, keep it as a fraction, but you're going to want to simplify it. So simplified it would be 3 over 1. Okay, so hopefully you're seeing the difference between odds and probability. The major difference is you're not going to put that total on the bottom. Alright, one last example. I'm going to have you guys try some of these, but I'll give you some to go off of. So you have a laundry bag with a bunch of different items in it, and I want you to find the odds of each. So what are the odds of picking a towel out of that bag? So we have 6 towels. And then you're going to want to write whatever is left over. So we could cross that off, and you're literally going to add up everything that's left over. So we have 18. Okay, you're not going to put the total, you're going to just do whatever is left. So we have to simplify. So you can type that into your calculator or calculate what you can divide by each. And you're left with 1 over 3. Okay. Next one I'll try to do for you, actually I want you to try number or letter B on your own. Remember you have that word or there, so be careful of that. Let's try C. So what are the odds of not picking out a t-shirt? Let's bring back these towels. So not a t-shirt. So we have to count up everything that is not a t-shirt. So we're going to count all of these up and we get 19. That's going to go on top. So we have everything that is a t-shirt. So if we want, we can cross all these off. So everything that is a t-shirt, it's going to go on the bottom. And that's your odds. Always simplify. We can't simplify this, so you can leave it just like that. I want you to try D, and I'll give you one last example here. So let's try E together. So we want the odds of finding a sock, a towel, or a skirt. Let's bring everything back. Alright, so the odds of getting those items, remember we have or, so that means we're going to add them all together. So sock, towels, and skirts. So we're going to add those up, so we'd get 17 total. That's going to be on top. And whatever is left over is going to be what's going to go on the bottom. So we add up what's left over. And we have 7 on bottom. Always check and see if you can simplify, but this one you cannot. So you're finished. So go ahead and try the ones to the right here and see how you do.